Hey there, I'm Han.
And I'm Kat, and we're Brews and Reviews. So, today is slightly awkward. We're filming this after we filmed the rest of this video, because when we tried to edit this, the file got a bit corrupted. So this little introduction is happening now, sometime in the future, hence why my hair is straight and it's curly right now.
Different outfits.
Anyway, we decided that we were going to start a new series in reference to how I read books.
As you might have gathered, Catty can be very opinionated, and most of them opinions, they tend to get a little bit complainy and ranty.
I'm Negative Nelly. It's who I am. There's no helping it. So we thought we'd make use of this trait in me.
Yeah.
And anytime I read a book that I have less than favourable opinions on, I think I'm going to make a little review about it. So we're going to call this series Complaints with Kat. We're going to jump right into this. I'm going to need to put my brew down because I'm about to get a little bit too annoyed at this book. And I don't want to throw coffee everywhere. So, the book I'm going to be talking about today is called Plague Pit by Marc Alexander. I read this on my Kindle app and wow, what a pile of garbage. I thought when I was reading this book that it was kind of self-published, to be honest with you, when I started reading it, because it was written like somebody was writing an essay for school. It was bad. But turns out, actually, that this isn't self-published. This was actually published in 1981, and it's actually been republished again under the writer's real name. That was a blow. Let me tell you that this sort of writing can get published. The premise of this is that someone in a digger cracks open a plague pit from the Black Death, and then, I don't know, some weird construction workers go and like plunder it, and then plague and all that. So it sounded like it could have been really interesting. I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go, I didn't know too much about it. And then when I started reading it, first, I didn't know who the main character was. I genuinely couldn't have told you for the first 20% of this book who the main character was. There were like 12 million different characters, some of whom were only in it for literally like half a chapter, and they were just inconsequential. It didn't make any sense to have so many different characters like that. When the main character did come into it, her name was Charity Brown. Given that she's supposed to be like this amazing black woman who's like head on the radio, I think calling her Brown is a bit of a mistake. And that comes to one of my problems with this book, is that it's so damn racist. Every character is like a huge stereotype. And then there's even some, I don't remember, some political party that decides to be kind of like Nazis that are in it, and somebody who's renamed themselves Lancelot Storm. Lancelot Storm.
I mean, Lancelot Storm, that is shocking, isn't it?
Oh, it's terrible.
It's shocking. That's just cringy.
I mean,
that is cringy.
Yeah. So, Charity Brown, she gets hint of this plague, and she's like, I'm a reporter. I'm going to find out what's going on. So she goes to this guy that she once got labelled as Dr. Frankenstein because he was doing something with germ warfare, or I don't know, it's not really explained. He's talking about long-stemmed rice and then germs and stuff. Another huge problem with this book is that nothing is ever explained, and everything happens so easily. Like, there's this one point in time, I'm way ahead of myself here, but Charity and this guy called Paul, they've teamed up together and they decide to break into a hospital morgue and then a sample from this bubo of this dead corpse that's being like covered up by the government. So it literally happens in 3 pages. Like, he's in, he's out, he's convinced everybody. He's like, yeah, I got this sample, dead simple. It's like, no, that is not how that would happen. Just, no. So when Charity and this guy Paul, they meet up, he's Dr. Frankenstein, she's like ruined his career and stuff. She goes onto his boat and she's like, hey mate, do you want to help me and all that? And he's like, no, and then he's like, oh, come in actually. And then, it's about 2 pages later, they're having sex. And then they love each other. And literally, I mean they love each other. Because later on in that book, it says, I don't know how we got to love each other in such a short space of horrendous days. And I'm like, I don't know either. Because it's, you know, not explained, it's not natural. People in London only seem to realise that the plague is hit by about 50% through this book. And it starts to get a little bit interesting because, you know, people go a bit crazy because they're like, I must get out of London because, you know, plague, I don't want to die. Policemen get killed and then people are just like, oh, I'll just go back to my house, stay there, be a bit racist to other people, write nasty things on their corner shop window. The writing in this book, as I have already mentioned, is just terrible. Really, really terrible. And it's very confusing. Nothing is developed at all. It's like someone said, alright, I've got this idea for this book, and I'm just gonna like write down some notes of like the bare bones of what's gonna happen, and then they just decided to publish that. They didn't go, oh, maybe I should think about this. Maybe I should explore some character development. Maybe I should actually learn how to write. No, they didn't do that. They was like, let's get that out there, get people to enjoy it. It's not enjoyable. It is a piece of garbage underneath the hobo's hairy toe. It is a waste of time. The only reason I finished it is because I had started and I thought, how is this really a thing? I was thinking, how is this published? I mean, for one example, there is a band in this book called The Strippers, and their whole premise is to get on stage and sing and be a pop sensation and then take their clothes off, and then everyone in the audience starts taking their clothes off. What? It was almost that point in time when I thought, is this some sort of joke? Is this like some sort of spoof on the Great Plague? But no, it actually wasn't. It was just something that they thought was acceptable. It was daft. The whole thing was daft. The government in this book drive me insane because they're trying to cover up the fact that a plague has broken loose. Maybe it's just the way I think, but I don't think the government would try and cover up a great plague, you know, outbreak of the Black Death, because why would you do that? How about you just tell people and they'll stay in their homes and not go, you know, kissing random people and shagging each other? I don't know. You could have prevented millions of people's death by not being stupid, but no, they did that. And that's why millions of people died. And there was a whole, like, weird must escape to Northampton with this antidote that this man who was doing long-stemmed rice, as far as I knew up until this point, he's already survived the plague, by the way, this guy, because that happens. He's like, oh yeah, I swiped some, you know, staphylococcal crappy antidote antibiotics thing. He'd already like swiped it and stolen it and brought it back, and he was like, I got the plague. And then she was like, alright, I'll inject you with this stuff. And then, of course he lived because reasons. He lived too. She didn't even get the plague like one time. Everyone else is like copping it off here, left, right and centre, and she's just like, I'm Charity Brown and I will keep the radio going and I will get this antidote to the place where it needs to go. And then, I don't know, air, water, like, you know, the end of Fantastic Beasts where the forgetfulness thing goes down, like, you know, the easy answer to making everyone forget stuff. It's like the easy answer to not having the plague. How about people die? That's what happens. Anyway, kind of wish I had the plague after reading this book, so yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter. So if I could welcome Anne back for the conclusion of this video. She has just been lurking in the background while I've been yelling.
I've been thoroughly enjoying myself. I like it when Kat goes on rants, it just makes me chuckle. Makes me chuckle.
I mean, I'd rather not have anything to rant about, but, you know, when there's, you know,
Catty, let's
such
face
ample
it,
choice.
there's always something for you to rant about, no matter what the situation is.
That's true. So, following my rantiness, I'm gonna show you a picture of how I felt about this book. Yep, that describes how I feel. If you like this, though I don't know why you would. You know, comment if you want to see more of my...
Give us your opinions on the book if you've read it. Or...
No one's read this book.
And I don't think anyone will actually read it from this review of it. But,
God, I hope not. Don't waste your lives.
If there is somebody out there who has got an opinion on this book, please share it with us, because we'd love to know if you are as ranty as Kat.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you next time if you're interested in this sort of review. It's not really a review, is it? It's just rambling. If you're interested in it, then let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, that stuff. And we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.